You're watching Joker's Wild, your number one alternative to entertainment news, views and reviews. I'm your host, The Joker, and today we're taking a look at Wonder Woman 1984.
This world is not yet ready for all that you will do.
Now, it's only been a few weeks since this movie's been out. Somehow, it's already been dumped on more times than AH's mattress. And whilst, yes, that within itself is quite an impressive feat, not really the kind of tagline you want attached to a movie, especially at a time when said movie is so important to revitalising the industry, not to mention keeping HBO afloat. All that being said, you've probably already heard... No, that wasn't. There's already a third movie greenlit for this franchise. The question is it worth it? Well, let's get through this one first, shall we? Now, rather than do a typical review and rehash what everyone has no doubt said already,
We won't be doing that today.
nope, I thought I'd instead list my top 10 issues that really had me scratching my head and asking, why? Before I start, I've got to give a mention to things I did enjoy. Chris Pine always turns up to work, always delivers. Yet another great turn for him. Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, a role that will probably go on to define her acting career. She turns in another fine performance, albeit let down by a shoddy story. Speaking of which, without further ado, let's begin. Number 1, the double opener. Now, the movie's opening is just as important as the movie's end. Some say more so. Don't hang around after the opener. You're not going to be there to watch the end. More often than not, they inform the audience with what kind of movie they're in for. In The Dark Knight, you see misdirection is a prominent feature, before going on to introduce themes like choice. Problem in this movie is that Patty's decided you can have 2 openings for the price of 1. And worse, there's very little connective tissue between them. One's a morality tale or not taking a shortcut in life. The other a day in the life of Wonder Woman. She tries to remain incognito whilst going about doing good. So is it a movie with Diana struggling not to take the shortcut in life? Or is it a movie about Diana struggling to remain hidden from society whilst trying to save it at the same time? Turns out it's neither. In fact, if anybody's storyline dealt with the perils of taking shortcuts in life, it's these two. Maybe we should start the movie with them. There's even a double dose of those cute moments you get in movies. Like she couldn't decide which take to go for, so she thought, I know, have them both. Oh, and as for the whole, who is this mysterious woman who's protecting our city kind of subplot, yeah, you can forget that. Never referenced again. Check out this scene towards the end of the movie. At a time when people are in peril, we really need Wonder Woman. Nobody cares. But there she is. Turn around. Nobody cares. Number 2, motivation. One thing beneficial for an audience to understand is your character's motive, why they're setting out to do what they're doing. By the end of the movie, we celebrate with them if they've achieved their goal. On the odd occasion, mourn with them if they haven't. Here, Diana misses Steve and wants him back. Bless. Maxwell Lord wants to be powerful and respected by his peers. Barbara wants to be like Diana, strong, loved, sought after, googled. So what's the problem? Is barely a third into the movie, and everyone's already gotten their wish, leaving the movie and some of its characters struggling for things to do and places to go. Maxwell Lord practically becomes the wishing stone, setting him on a path of, well, just wanting more. Barbara becomes just like Diana, complete with abilities she never even knew Diana had. Everything she ever wanted and more. Well, that's her sort. As for Diana, oh, is that Chris Pine in another man's body? Number 3. Chris Pine in another man's body. Now, I tried to steer clear from rumours for as long as I could before this movie came out. On it was delayed so many times, in the end I just gave up. But this was one I struggled to get my head around.
Why?
Because it was difficult for me to get to grips with.
Why?
Because he was dead, okay? The guy was dead. Last time we saw the dude, he blew up in a plane. So explaining how he's now back was always going to take clever writing, or an extreme case of escapism. Unfortunately, it was more the latter. But even that wasn't the real issue. No. I've got to admit, first time I watched the movie, this actually went over my head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast.
Well, I'm not you, am I, big guy? In fact, it wasn't until somebody pointed out online, I was like, oh, yeah. Then I was like, oh yeah. Then I was like, oh yeah. Now whilst there are guys out there, let's face it, they wouldn't mind having their bodies pimped out for Gal Gadot's pleasure.
You just tell me where to sign, bud.
Who was that? Still a pretty immoral thing to have done to you. I mean, did they have to seal the deal on the first night? Dude, I think it was multiple times. I guess you was waiting a long time. It's supposed to be an example why another man's body and all the other wishes just literally came out of thin air.
That's a fair point.
I know. Now, a potential way around that, if you really had to have that last scene, you know, for the ending to work, you'd need to have this guy play like, I don't know, security guard at the museum. He likes Diana, Diana likes him. Can we say mutual consent, everybody?
Yes.
Further on in the story, she has a conversation with Barbara, who tells her, girl, just go for it. She says, no, I feel guilty because he's not Steve. I wish he was Steve, but he's not. And boom, there's a reason for them sharing the same body. I mean, it's not perfect. It's established they both already like each other. They're gonna hook up anyway. You're welcome. Number 4, other plot inconsistencies. First up, what's the point in showing this little nifty behind the back maneuver? Oh yeah. Further on in the story, she claims to have given him the rock.
I let him borrow it.
What indeed? In fact, back up a minute. Why was Diana so hostile to the guy when they first met?
TV. Oh, I don't have a TV.
No, she's telling the truth. She doesn't have a TV. She has several. Point of the matter is, no pretext, context, subtext, any text.
Got a hip injury from
Great, so thank you so much for coming.
Straight up ice cold to the dude. Now back to the stone. Now it's established fairly early into the movie. One wish. You only get one wish. Your hand on it, you make your one wish.
An ixnay on the wishing for more wishes. That's it.
Hence the reason why he's travelling the world, trading what he wants for granting other people's wishes. But later on he's feeling generous enough to grant old Babs a second wish. You what? Why don't you just do that in the first place then? Get this dude to sit down there and just make multiple wishes. Knock them out one after the other. Why don't you make the wish yourself? If you're the wishing stone now, obviously making up the rules as you go along. What are the rules for this anyway? Now they do go on to attempt to flesh this little mishap out. And believe me, it was a mishap. Adding this little bit of dialogue.
Give her your rage and your prowess.
Rage and prowess. Alright. From that she becomes the cheetah. Okay. Who's he talking to? Prowess? Was he talking to animals? Or animals out there wishing now? That explains why she turns into a cheetah. But it doesn't explain why animals are out there making wishes. I really wish this made more sense. Speaking of wishes, your son's wishing for you to come home because you ain't there already.
I want you here, Daddy. I wish you come back. Daddy, please.
Go home, go home. You can hear everyone else's wish, but you can't hear your son's. Speaking of children, what's she doing in the grown-ups Amazonian Olympics? Last I remember, young Diana was still coming to grips with, you know, the old hand-eye coordination thing.
You keep doubting yourself, Diana.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, she doesn't, because apparently, run it back a couple of years, with an even younger Diana, she's doing this. Girl, without no fear whatsoever. Well, Mumsy was against you putting yourself in danger.
There will be no training.
Mum's the word. Yeah, she's watching you risk your life, and she's like,
Oh, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
Then we have what I consider the worst offender in this list. All takes place in the following scene.
Baba Jeed.
No, that's Babu Frick. Completely different. Anyway, 3 of our main leads meet up at this place so that this guy here can help them and the audience figure out what's going on. Fine, no problem, I get it. But then we have this little reveal.
Beware what you wish for. It grants your wish, protects your most valued possession. Diana and your powers. Diana and your powers. Diana and your powers.
What?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing. It makes perfect sense. What doesn't make sense is that he's told her in front of you and him. How do you... At what point in time did you realise, or did she confess to you that she's Wonder Woman? Do you even know who Wonder Woman is? Have you heard you speak about her? How does it make sense for her to hear Trevor say the words,
Diana, your powers?
And she doesn't come out with, hang on, what powers? What is your crackhead pilot friend talking about? I knew there was something about the guy from the beginning. No. She says,
what's more precious than what you wish for?
Completely ignoring number 5. plot contrivance. Now let me start by saying the contrivances in this plot have nowhere near the legendary, mythical status of the Legend of Zelda ripoff that is The Rise of Skywalker. However, with the invisible plane malarkey, pulled that one out of your real quick, didn't you? You've only done it once ever before, and you lost the cup. I mean, does that mean the plane's going to be forever invisible? Where are you going to land it? How are you going to find it again when it's time to fly back? Do you plan on staying in Egypt? Have you even applied for citizenship? You just happen to be driving down the road at the same time old Max is driving the other way?
Now, what would be the odds of that?
Well, I know, billion to one. Close, aren't I? Hold up, how does he know how to fly the plane? Dude just stepped out of World War I. He's like, no problem, I got this. Oh, today's the 4th of July.
What a coincidence.
Wait, what? Oh, whatever. Number 6, the effects. Now, special effects are always going to be something that's going to be tricky to pull off perfectly. You're never going to please everyone. That's for sure. In fact, on the odd occasion, you won't please anyone. Isn't that right? Yeah! Still gives me nightmares. You would have thought after all the delays that these guys would have used that time to nail down the effects properly. But what do we get? A weird running effect. It's almost like her feet aren't even touching the ground. Gal Gadot saving 2 mannequin children from certain destruction or being decommissioned. Now I'm actually grateful they used mannequins for this shot. Real children would have died from a role like that. Yeah, probably. Then we have Cheetah herself in all her apex predator glory.
Barbara, what did you do?
Hang on. What the? Now, whether or not the end result is considered comic accurate, comment down below. Hard to tell with all the blue lighting. Some say that was the point. If you can't see the effects, you can't judge the effects. Speaking of effects, number 7, the lasso of infinite possibility. Now, I remember watching The Phantom Menace for the first time and being pleasantly shocked by this. OMG, they're using a lightsaber to cut through a door. Never seen it used that way before, and I wasn't the only one.
This is impossible!
No. Impossible would be if they added a scene like this in there. Or this. Or even this. Or even a scene like this. Although that would be pretty cool. Point is, they could have gone in any one of a number of creative directions with the lightsaber. Instead, they chose restraint. Less is more. More or less. Wonder Woman 1984, however, reintroduces us to the lasso. Rather than just forcing people to tell the truth, being a handy weapon in combat, decides to amp up the usage possibilities. Now, she can swing on it like Spider-Man. Use it to tell stories. Handy putting the kids to bed. Use it to punch people, or use it to pull people along. Use it to pull furniture along. Use it to deflect bullets. Use it to catch bullets. Use it to catch rockets. Use it to pull yourself along. Stretch hundreds of meters to lasso an aeroplane. Use it to lasso lightning. It does look kind of cool. Use it to lasso a cloud. Wait, what? Hold up. Is that even right? Riddle me this. How many male douchebags can you squeeze into one movie? The answer? As many as you can. Outside of Chris Pine's character, every other man's either a selfish idiot or absolutely gagging for it. Now, the old black dude, he gets a pass. Fair enough. And again, he does live on a park bench. So, everyone else is even stealing taxis, ignoring people who need help, trying to be the new Steve Trevor.
Listen, I've had my eyes on you for some time, so if you ever need
That's great, Carl.
And failing.
Anything else I can get you? Coffee? Tea? Me?
I mean, who wrote this?
I don't need anything from you and I'm done.
You don't have to be mean about it.
Constantly oogling Diana like she's the first woman they've ever seen. Not even connected to the plot. Just there to show all men are leeches. Look how many men there are on this small stretch of road.
Hey,
just hanging around waiting for a woman to run past so they can hassle her.
You're pretty.
I count 10. See how many you make.
Slow down, sexy.
What, were there no other women allowed in the streets at night? No couples walking hand in hand? When what it really should have done was just focus on this moment. So we could proper celebrate with her getting her own back on this dirty lowdown. Number 9. The villains. Now, I was only introduced to Kirsten Wiig as Kristen in 2016's Ghostbusters remake. And that movie was... oh, okay, maybe another time. First 2 main bad guys is Barbara. Barbara's a scientist who happens to wear heels. She obviously struggles to walk in.
Stupid. I don't know why I was going to wear heels. Scientists don't wear heels.
So why are you oh, That's right, so we can marvel at this little moment later on. Thing is, this would have been hard to pull off with a pair of Nikes, let alone heels, so there's really no need to shoehorn in that little character trait in the first place.
Sometimes we do.
No, sometimes you do. Completely different. You're not exactly the average scientist.
Right. Have a nice day. Those are cool. I like those.
Yeah, I thought you would. In fact, I thought you'd be the one wearing them.
Animal print.
Consider this. Swap this moment for this moment.
An apex predator.
Why? Well, let's just say she has a fondness for animals, particularly cheetahs. Maybe she likes the athleticism, how fast it's able to run, independence, ferocity, it's confident, traits she wished she had, metaphorically. But the stone doesn't know that and grants her wish literally. The transformation takes the entire movie, at which time she gets stronger, faster, more and more of her humanity slips away. By the time it's complete, it's too late. She doesn't want to turn back. Now she has truly. It's just an idea, innit? Either way, I would have bumped this fight up to be the main event, taking place after Max has been dealt with. Now I must say, I think Kristen's a very talented actress. I think given more to chew on, she definitely would have had more of a memorable impact on the movie. Kinda like the way Michelle Pfeiffer did in Batman Returns.
Meow.
As for Pedro Pascal, his version of Max Lord, though different from the comic, fairly entertaining, coming across like a mixture between Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor and Antonio Banderas. Yeah, so I didn't get that Trump thing, outside of a few shoehorned in references. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm a Brit, maybe this is how Patty views Trump. Who knows? Who cares? Either way, it just wasn't intimidating. The movie spends so much time focusing on humanizing his character. They forget that he's actually supposed to be the villain of the piece. I think a lot of that time could be focused on Diana dealing with some kind of internal struggle or issue. Because to be honest, I came out of the movie knowing no more about her than I did going in. Now I do feel it was a bit of a missed opportunity not having him be the ones who hired those crooks at the beginning to rob the jewelry store and steal the stone. And the entire sequence tighter to the overall plot. Number 10, the end. Now, an incredible ending can save a mediocre movie, just as a mediocre ending can spoil a good movie. Unfortunately here, we have neither a good movie or an incredible ending. I don't think the movie is as bad as everyone says it is. I just don't think it's anywhere as good as the first one. And the ending, one chance the movie had to make amends, unfortunately seals its fate. Here, I felt the movie just went full on pantomime. So much about it just didn't add up, just didn't make sense. I don't even know where to begin. Diana's held back by a bit of wind. She doesn't have wind. That would be awkward. Pedro decides to swap Gene Hackman for Raul Julia, Street Fighter. I mean, it's all a mess. When it's over, there's no consequence to his actions. No retribution. Dude nearly kicked off World War III. What does he get for his crimes? No hard feelings, mate. Look, it happens, alright? Worry about it. Water under a bridge. Anyway, hope you find your son, right? Cheers, mate. Bye. I remember Paddy and Gal promoting this movie, telling everyone it's all about hope. It inspires hope. You know what? Having watched it to the end, does indeed inspire hope. Yeah, if you're a supervillain.
Life is good, but it can be better.
That's it for me. Over to you. What do you think of the movie? Have you seen the movie? What were your top 10 gripes? Do you have any gripes? Maybe you love the film. Comment down below, hit the bell, like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.